Hey, how are you? Hi everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Dedicated to Financial Literacy. Russell Moore coming to you live again. It's great to see everyone. We're almost at the end of the week, and the market has been interesting. We've had a green day today. The market has definitely been up today. Uh, the Nasdaq, the Dow, um, S&P 500, even Russell 2000. So we've seen a green day, and I just want to give a shout out to all the traders and investors out there that prospered. Want to just encourage you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Um, I did want to make a couple of comments today. Uh, Not necessarily the market. It does have something to do with the market, and that is, I want to say, there's been a lot of talk about inflation, and I just want to just to let everybody know this is just my opinion. Okay, I'm not an economist. I'm not Kathy Wood. Uh, so she's not an economist either, but she has an economist background, and so she studied at USC, just down the not too far from. Well, when I lived in LA, I'm right outside of LA now, but yeah, she's a USC alumnus. So give a shout out to Kathy Wood. I just personally do not believe that inflation is transitory. I don't think it's going to be temporary. I think it's going to be here for a while. I'm not going to say it's here to stay. Nobody could say that, but I definitely feel like that inflation is it's definitely going to be an issue, and the next few weeks. And that sounds like my son. My son is bringing his bike in here. It's a little bike. He's 4 years old, and he has no sense of timing. Most kids don't, right? And so he's coming. So if you see him pedaling over my feet, uh, we'll just keep rolling, okay? Hey, I like it real and raw. I'm not gonna edit him out, but I love him. He's my son. His name is Benjamin, and he's coming in here right now. And so I think he's trying to remind me that we're going to the park today. Okay, so anyway, going back to inflation, I think it's transitory. I'm not going to go into all the reasons, but I will say this just from a practical standpoint. Just talk to people. This is what I always say. Talk to everyday people. Talk to your neighbor. Talk to the mailman. Talk to the UPS guy. Talk to the Amazon person that drops off and delivers your packages. Talk to the person at the supermarket. Talk to the gas station attendant. You know, talk to people, and ask them, are prices going up in your life or they're down? And most people, 9 out of 10, are going to tell you that everything is up. And like I've said so many times, if I was Procter and Gamble, and I went up 12 to 13% like they did on many of their products, would I go back down in 22? In 2022, would I go back down and deflate those prices when you've already proven as a consumer that you're going to pay for it? You're going to still pay for my Tide. Instead of paying 16.99, now you're paying 19.99 in 2022. If you do it in 2021, you'll do it in 2022. So why would I go back down to 16 unless I gave discounts from here and there, coupons and all that kind of stuff? But I would not go back down on the price on my goods and services once you've accepted it. I'm gonna tell you just how bad this inflation thing is getting. I had a company that I used to move when I moved here to this house, and they were a company I used at my company. My company, I would move, I would do project management, I would do uh, maintenance for as a manager, supervisor. I've done property management, and so they would move me if I moved into another building. And so normally it was averaging my last move, it cost us around 700, $600, $700. So I called them up because not only did they move us, they actually have a storage unit. So I stored a lot of my furniture and stuff there until because we were like, you know what, we're going to be here for a couple of years leasing, and then we're going to get our own house. So now we're in escrow for our new home. It's still actually being built. And what happened was I called them to say, hey, yeah, I want you guys to move all my stuff out of storage, and it was well over $1,000. And they told me, oh, it was because of pandemic. And then he laughed and said, inflation, inflation. Even they know, just your local small business. This isn't a major company, big, huge company. And they know they're taking advantage of inflation, inflation. Oh, they're going up? So everybody's going up. Everybody's going up. Prices are going up, gang. And let me tell you something. Let me give you something, a plan. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm really going to tell you this. I really believe this with all my heart. I believe one of the reasons why the Democratic Party has opened up the borders, the Biden administration, and allowed people to come in, one reason is to affect the elections. Watch me. Watch what I'm saying. I believe they're going to come down with some type of legislation. They're going to try to push to get the migrants. They're going to try to get those migrants and legalize them some way before the 2022 elections, the midterms, and the 2024 election, to get them to be able to vote. Now, who do you think the migrants would vote for? The Republicans, or would they a conservative party, or would they vote for somebody that opened up borders for them, quote unquote? Of course. The second reason why I believe they're here now is many Americans aren't going back to work. Many Americans are not going back to work. So why would watch and see, don't you see, some kind of legislation that comes around giving them temporary permits to work? Watch. They're going to somehow try to, I'm talking about people that have come here illegally, are going to be working, taking the jobs that Americans are rejecting right now. Now, I'm not mad at the migrants. They had it bad in their countries where they came from, so I'm not mad at them. It's our country's fault. Can you imagine? They're going to come and take the jobs of people, citizens. And, and here's their justification. Well, you won't come back to work. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Why are people not coming back to work? I keep hearing this thing about stimulus. It's because of the stimulus money. If you live in California, the stimulus money didn't last 1 month. It's not like they were giving stimulus checks every month. We got a total of 3. And the child care tax credit, that's only for people with children. So what about all the single people that don't have any kids? They didn't even get that. So when you say stimulus, what stimulus? The stimulus in many cases was gone before people even got the check, because the cost of living and inflation was going up at the same time. All right. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't some people that didn't prosper and didn't have a good chunk of money as a result of the stimulus. I'm not saying that. But for the most part, that wasn't enough to keep people away from working. You still had to go back to work, even with your stimulus check. So stop saying that. Here's what I think. Many people are not going back to work is because when the pandemic took place and we had the lockdowns, people were forced to do something else in order to make money. And now what has happened, many Americans have realized, I don't have to leave my house to make money. Hello, look behind me. Now, I still leave my house, but I'm saying the people that are out there that are not coming back is because they don't have to come back. It has nothing to do with the stimulus. It has more to do with the lockdowns and mandates. The lockdowns and the mandates said, stay home. mask up or stay home. Now they're saying vaccinate or don't come out in public. What is that going to do? It's going to force people to do more at home, including work. Hello, wake up. Your lockdowns are forcing people to become innovative and more creative at home and how to make money. Now get this. If a person, all they need to do is make $250 per day on the stock market, and they do not have to go back to work. That's $5,000 a month. In most states, other than New York and California and Hawaii, in most states, you can live on $5,000 a month. California, let's add another $1,000. That's $300 a day. A person can learn enough on the stock market, and if they can generate $300 a day on the stock market, which they got the stimulus money, 3 checks. What we'll say about 4 or 5,000. That's 4 or 5,000. That's why when you say people, because of the stimulus check, people didn't go, not coming back to work. That's ludicrous. $5,000 is not enough to even sustain you, most people in California, for 1 month. Let alone keep you out of work for months and months and months. I've been telling people this. Look, stop blaming it on the stimulus. People were being misused. People were being not treated right by their employers in many cases. Some of this, the reason why people are still at home is because of employer abuse. So what has this done? It's a wake-up call, and it's made it more like an employee's market instead of an employer market. Now the employee has a little bit more leverage. Now they can say, I want more money. Oh, you don't want to give me any more money? You don't want to pay me more for what I think I'm worth? Okay, I'll stay home. I have about $5,000 or $6,000. I'll just take that, open up an account in Robinhood, and just make money. Options. I'll do some call option, put options. I'll make some money. And wait a minute, I found out I'm making enough money here in the stock market. I don't have to leave and jump in my car where the gas is it is $5. $5 a gallon here in California. In many places, it's like $5. So why would I leave my house, spend all this money on gas, daycare? Daycare is going to run you for about $1,000 to $2,000 here in California per child. If you got 2, they may give you a break. You're going to pay $2,000 to $3,000 per month. Now you don't have to pay for daycare. Now you don't have to pay for gas. And here's another thing. There are many companies, especially small businesses, they don't give you benefits. You don't have health insurance. So you're being talked to in a way that's not respectful. You don't have any benefits. You're getting paid less money than if you were at home trading stocks. Why would anybody go back to work? You wouldn't. The very people that are complaining about people not coming back to work would never do that. So why would you ask people to come back to work? The job market has got to become more appealing. You've got to give more. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And it's not unfair. It's not unfair because the employee has been treated unfair for years. And the pandemic exposed it. The pandemic exposed how employers are treating employees, if you really want to know the truth about it. Now, there's some people that are lazy and don't want to come back, but they will. You have to work. If you don't have a mastered skill, you will have to come back to work. The stimulus won't last forever. So stop panicking, politicians. People will get back to work. But here's what we need to do. We need to ensure that employees are being treated properly, that they have benefits. Health insurance. Health insurance is expensive. I don't even want to tell you the bill that we paid last year, my wife and I, for our company. We both work for the health insurance. Now, I've been fortunate. My health insurance, I don't pay a penny. My wife does. And it was a lot. When you add a child into it, it's a lot of money, thousands of dollars. So that takes from your salary. So more and more people, I've had more friends and family call and ask me about how to invest in the stock market because they don't want to go back to work. Think about it. They're not saying they want to learn so they can secure their future by learning investing and financial literacy. They're like, my short-term goal is I don't want to work anymore. I'm working all these hours and it's like money. It's like money and there's holes in my pockets. I put the money in and it's like holes. I don't know where the money goes. I'm not making enough money working for my job. And I spend and get this, if you're in California, because of the traffic, here's another issue that we have that's keeping people from work. This is why their infrastructure needs to address this. We got this $3 trillion infrastructure over our heads, right? Let's address the traffic in Los Angeles. Kevin came up with some great ideas, tunnels. So here's what I'm saying. People are saying, look, why am I going to drive? Why am I going to drive 3 and 4 hours backed up in traffic, angry, road rage people? Why would I do that? Just driving alone is keeping people from wanting to go back to work in LA. Stop blaming it on the stimulus, you guys. It's more to it than that. Here's my last thing that I want to say. I want to give a lot of young people advice. Because here's another thing, too. A lot of baby boomers. I'm 56 years old. I'm not at retirement yet. I'm going to be still working for about 15, 20 years. But a lot of baby boomers my age and up are retiring. Many of those people just worked. My generation endured much from employers. This young generation, the millennials, Y, Z, they're not taking that. They're not taking anything from the employers. In fact, if an employer talks crazy to them, they'll get up and walk right then and there. They won't even ask for their last check. See, that's the difference with this up and coming generation than my generation. My generation tolerated a lot from employers to our demise. There's a matter of being respectful and just doing your job and sucking things up. I get that. You suck it up. You just, look, I'm here to do my job. I leave. That's a good attitude to have. But in many cases, it gave the employer too much power. And what the employees now, the younger people are saying, look, if you're going to talk crazy to me, I'm out of here. You need me. You have no company without me. That's what they're saying. You have no company without me. And let me give something to the migrants that would come and take these jobs from these people. You need to join the stand. I know your family has to live. You came from a country, maybe you came from a crazy socialist country that was controlling and poverty stricken, and you've had it bad. I get it. And you come here, you want a new life. I get it. I'm not against that. But if you come and take the jobs here from the people that are making stance against employers, you will eventually come up under the same issues that the citizens are having. And what I'm saying is there's got to be, now let me say this right now. There are a lot of employers that are great employers that are really good by their people. But let me tell you something. That's rare. That's not the norm. That's rare where you find an employer that really cares about the people and are really out for their good and are trying to do the best for them, giving them the best salary they possibly can. We understand you got to make a profit. You're in business to make money. Okay, I get that. But remember, you have no business without the employee. This is what I want to bring home to every employer out there in America. You do not have a business. Your business is nothing without the employee. The baby boomers are retiring. So that leaves you with the millennials. That's the strongest workforce you'll have. And Generation Y and Z are coming. So treat these kids right. Treat them right. Make sure they have what they need. Make sure you're paying them properly. And then you'll see your business prosper. The companies that do the best are where the employees are happiest. In these last days, this last day, during these days, you got to be an employer that takes care of your employees and treats them right, and don't treat them like they're slaves. All right? Here's my last thing I want to say. Sorry, you guys. I know this is long. Here's the last thing I want to say. Number one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is advice to the younger ones that are coming up. Kathy Woods talks about the 5 disruptive, innovative sectors that are merging together. We haven't seen this since the Industrial Revolution, where there was the combustional engine, electricity, and telephone. They all 3 came together around the same time. Massive innovation, awesome innovation. This has never happened, what we're seeing now. 5 innovations merging together, coming and arising together. AI, artificial intelligence, genomics and gene therapy, gene sequencing. Number 3, robotics. Number 4, data storage. And number 5, blockchain. Master one of these skills. Go somewhere and master AI. Go somewhere and master robotics. If you notice, things are becoming more where companies are saying, hey, I can say, and this is what I want to say to employers. You don't have a problem replacing employees with robotics. You're kicking them to the curb. So now all of a sudden you're mad because they don't want to come back to work? When you are looking down the road, you're looking at replacing them. You only use them because you need them now. But here's what you can do, employee. Go learn how to fix the robot. Learn the technical side of roboting. Learn how to assemble them. Learn about them. Learn about AI. Learn about blockchain. Master one of them. Now what happens? In the future, you'll be needed. And because people aren't looking at those jobs, you will be in high demand, especially if you master 2 of them. But at least master 1. Blockchain, data storage, AI, robotics. Gene sequencing, like CRISPR, the company CRISPR and what they're doing, and I guess what I'm saying, I don't know enough about it, so don't ask me. But I'm telling you, master one of the 5 disruptive innovations, and you'll be fine in the future. And then learn how to invest so that you don't stay in that job forever and you're not a slave to it, but you've mastered it so that you're in high demand at the time when they blow up, because they are going to blow up. All right, that's it for me today. I want to just let you know, you guys, keep it up, keep doing what you're doing. Hey, and remember my motto. What do I always say? You do not earn if you do not learn. You do not earn if you do not learn. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day.